Yo, what is up, everybody? Your boy E-Man from the Average Old Sports Talk Podcast, alongside the homie, as always, week after week. What up, Cricket?
What's up, brother? How you doing, man? Good to see you as always. Look forward to these Tuesdays. Everything all right in your world?
Everything's all right, man. Like I told you off air, staying busy, work, family life, exhausted. I mean, look, at 45, man. I can't party as much as I used to, and I showed the wife a good time for her birthday this weekend. Shout out to Jenny again, my wife, for her.
Yeah, happy
I'm not gonna
belated
say how old
birthday.
she is, even though she's a lot younger than I am. However, you don't say the women's age, but shout out to her again. She's enjoying her birthday month.
Well, man, a happy belated birthday to your wife. I'm glad you guys enjoyed that this weekend.
Yeah, so it's all good. But you know what else I enjoyed, man? We had some great storylines this past weekend, bro. We had a lot of action, brother. Some things happen. Uh,
Man,
we
give me
had
your
some players that stepped up again. We had some people get fired. I mean, without
yeah. We
naming
got
too
some
much.
people working up this morning about jobs.
Exactly, exactly. We're gonna go hit the top storylines, like you said. We At this point of the season, we just stick to the top stuff, right? You know what I mean? I don't like to hit every single game. I think at
Right.
this point, we'll give our takes to what we think regards to the betting, the fantasy football, what we saw this weekend, and anything that we could give out. So, you know, what's unbelievable, undeniable is the Pastronaut. It is having one heck, not just of a season, but one heck of a story. All right,
Whoa,
fairy
whoa,
tale
whoa, whoa,
story
whoa, whoa,
with
whoa, whoa, whoa,
Minnesota,
whoa!
baby.
Did you just call him the pastronaut?
That's what NASA called him, bro. The
That
Pastronaut,
that's that's
Josh Dobbs,
that's
is
one of the
him.
greatest nicknames I've ever heard, man. I don't know if I'll ever be able to call him anything else. I won't take credit for it. Is that yours? Did you make
No,
that
no,
up?
no, no, no. I stole that from NASA. So NASA, after he made his debut with the Vikings, right? They
Okay.
actually tweeted out a picture, and they said we're gonna coin him from now on the Pastronaut because, like you said, he's aeronautical science, right? He interned in NASA, and he's out there with a full blown astronaut suit, right?
Yeah,
You call him the
he, bro,
astronaut suit, not Photoshop him in there dude, during this time in Tennessee. And they,
bro.
yeah, from now on, the
I,
Pastronaut, whatever else, it was kind
I
of cool, dude.
love. I've always called him my little astronaut, man. But the pastronaut, that is incredible. That's one of the greatest nicknames. I mean, how many people could actually have that nickname? He's probably the only person in history that
Whoa.
could ever have that. That's awesome, man. Let's talk about him. Go ahead. I'm sorry,
I
I heard
mean,
that. And that blew my mind.
brother, look. First, let's start the obvious. The fact that Minnesota is 6-4. Again, one of the things I've been wrong is I did a segment a while back in one of my other show in Cigars and Sports about stick a fork in them when they were like 1-5. I went in and
Yeah, you've
stuck a
been having to
fork
eat
in them.
that for a little bit now.
You know, so I am eating crow right now. But the fact that he has his team in two really solid wins, second week in a row. I mean, he is bringing a different dimension to this Minnesota Vikings offense, right?
Yes, sir.
Efficient over the air, 268 passing yards, a touchdown. But what he keeps doing with his legs, bro, another 30 plus rushing yards, another touchdown, making great decisions. I mean, look, he feeding the ball to his receivers. He look at these targets. TJ, of course, TJ Hawkinson had a hell of a day, right?
Boy,
134,
doing
a
the damn
touchdown,
thing.
15 freaking targets, 7 for Addison. All right, 5 for Brandon Powell. I can't wait to see what Justin Jefferson is going to be in this new
Yeah.
offense, right? That has a different type of quarterback.
I think I keep kind of forgetting that JJ's about to come back, man. The best
Yeah,
player in this whole franchise is about to come back, man. And I'm like, God, these boys might be something to be reckoned with. I'm telling you, man. I said it last week. I think that they may be playing a little more inspired behind Josh Dobbs than even they were behind. Not that Kirk Cousins was playing bad. He was on pace to throw for nearly 6,000 yards or whatever. He
hmm
wasn't playing bad, but they seem like a little bit more of a fiery bunch with Josh Dobbs back there running the show. They're having fun. They look good, bro.
Damn!
I think
That's
they're
right.
playing excited, right? It's what I noticed. I can't wait to see when because you notice, right? A lot of his plays, he starts with his legs. He'll get out, and then if he's not taking it for the first down or running the football, he's going to go ahead and he makes a pass on the run, and he's catching like TJ Hawkinson last week was catching dimes from him, right? Another
Yeah,
big pass for the go ahead touchdown, that kind of stuff,
bro. Hmm.
and it's just interesting to see this offense look still pretty explosive, but from a different standpoint. I mean, I don't even know what to put it here. I mean, I'm not even going to talk about the Saints, man, because it's Saints are the Saints. 5-5. Honestly, Minnesota's the better team. Um, Derek Carr got injured again. Famous Jameis came in and did what he could. What he does always is sling the football, try to get there. He still threw for 2 picks, and as he goes up and down with his game, it's really not the same movie before. So I don't know what else exciting about the Saints moving forward, but the Minnesota Vikings.
Saints are not a very good football team.
No, they're not.
Anytime they play somebody, they beat the teams that are bottom half of the league.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime they play somebody that, especially a team as hot as the Vikings have been, they've won 5 in a row now. I mean, anytime they play somebody that's playing their best ball, they get this done to them. This game was never really in doubt. You know, I mean, I know they had plenty of chances at the end of the game, but you never felt like the Saints were going to go down and score and they get the 2-point conversion, tie this thing up. You never felt like that. The Vikings kept giving them chance after chance after chance at the end to try to come back in this thing, and they couldn't take advantage of any of those. The offense is anemic most of the time, man.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Carr getting banged up like that. I mean, it's not going to be any better with Jameis back there. I'm sorry. It's just not. I don't think Derek Carr's a world beater, but he can get the job done, game management, stuff like that. He gives them the best chance to win. They're not going to get any better with Jameis. There's a reason he's the starter and Jameis is not. But the defense is just on the field too much because they can't sustain drives on offense. And, you know, they got a great defense, but these guys are tired, man. There's only so much depth at this point in the NFL season with the injuries and things like that, man. There's only so much depth to go throughout that thing. And when you're on the field for 60% of the game, 70% of the game sometimes because the offense just looks terrible. And I don't think the Saints are going to get any better. I think they're in trouble, a lot of trouble.
They are. The only one that's going to benefit is going to be Chris Olave because remember, what Jameis is going to do the same thing he did in the Bucs, right? He's going to throw the ball deep and let his receivers make plays and hopefully bail them out. Like if you notice, Chris Olave, as soon as Jameis went in, it was like, I'm just going to feed the ball to the number one guy. I don't care if I get picked off or not, which he did. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. He's like,
Chris Olave is like loving life right now. He's happy Derek Carr is not there. That's the only thing that matters.
What Derek Carr can actually go through progressions and check down and hit the open guys. So Chris Olave, like you said, Jameis just go throw it to him. He don't care. He's open. He's gonna. If I get picked, I get picked. Man, Jameis is not afraid to throw into coverage.
Courtesy of the Pastronaut, before we move on to the next game, TJ Hawkinson had the best game I think a tight end for the Vikings has ever had. First Vikings tight end to ever reach 11 receptions, 134 yards receiving, and a touchdown. No one has ever accomplished that with none of the quarterbacks, right? None of those great quarterbacks they've had in their team. They do it with a guy they pick up who's had 7 different teams. You know, he actually makes a position player have his best game in the history of that particular team in that position. Unreal.
That's crazy, man. That's just crazy to me. This guy's been on this team for all like 2 weeks, man.
Dude,
and he's like they're about ready to give him the keys to the city, man.
They should have straight up
Vol for life, baby. That's a Vol legend right there, man.
It is. Hey, you know, again, I know he's from Tennessee, bro. Right now, this guy is becoming the most coveted player since Eli Manning coming out of Tennessee, right? Not Eli, I'm sorry, Peyton Manning.
Here's what Josh Dobbs is doing right now. Maybe his future's not in Minnesota, but all he's doing is ensuring he's got a future, man. He's playing football for somebody as long as he's physically able to, because why not? There's worse options out there, I promise you. And he may be finding him a home in Minnesota.
Well, think about this, right? If you look at it from a standpoint of, all right, we could pay him X amount of money, get similar results, give the money to Justin Jefferson, have a 1-year deal or 2-year deal with him. You know how it is. A 2-year deal is really a 1-year deal.
Right.
If he's going to give us this type of performance next year, then what's the point of overspending with Kirk Cousins? Right? And we don't know if Kirk might want to come back after those injuries. We don't know. I mean, a lot of things could happen. He could be the bridge quarterback for 2 years until we find our guy.
That's what I'm saying, man. If he's right now, he's 2-0. The proof's in the pudding right there. And you got Kirk Cousins, 36 years old, be coming off a major injury in that Achilles tear that happened midway through the season. There's no guarantee he's ready for training camp or something like that. And if he does come back, is he still the same guy? Like I said, 36 years old, your body don't heal the same way. So, I mean, like I said, I've said it multiple times. I'm going to say it again. I think they're playing like more inspired with Josh Dobbs anyway.
Dude, they're playing with house money.
Now, there's a lot of football left. So let's see if it keeps going. We're all, sometimes what have you done for me lately? So he's high right now. Let's see what happens the next couple of weeks. But if he keeps doing what he's doing right now, no reason for me to think that Kirk Cousins gives you a better shot.
No, I mean, hey, it's just one of those things that, we've had backup quarterbacks win Super Bowls before. It's
absolutely
not the first time. We had starters are backup, the equivalent of that, and have won Super Bowls. I mean, maybe not in this era yet, but, Nick Foles.
Right. I'm just saying, man. There are some of those guys out there, man.
Nick Foles,
for sure. It's definitely it's not out of the realm. We've seen, like I said, we've seen it multiple times. Quarterbacks that probably had no business in it. Well, there's a lot better quarterbacks that didn't win a Super Bowl than some of the guys that have.
Absolutely. And why not the damn Pastronaut, baby? All right.
Why not, man? Why not?
Talking about somebody that was passing the hell out of the ball, man. Another insane, tough, gritty game. Our boy CJ Stroud just does not disappoint. He doesn't disappoint. He keeps I mean, he keeps like impressing the hell out of everybody week after week. Listen, brother, you know, and I spoke about it last week. Offensive Rookie of the Year, it's a given. He's going to get that even if he doesn't play the rest of the season.
Mail him the trophy, man. Cash those bets.
Yep. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But it's time, maybe not to give him the MVP.
He got to be there.
Put him in the damn conversation.
Got to. Tell me somebody's playing better. Find me somebody, maybe somebody equal to. Maybe somebody's playing up there and you can put him on the same level, a tier or something. But find me somebody that's on a tier higher than him. I'll wait.
Most valuable player to me means and I'm going to give you the best example. If David Mills is a starting quarterback for this team, same lineup,
oh my goodness,
they'll be 1-8.
Put Bryce Young on that team. Put the number one overall. The guy who's in front of him, put that guy on that team, man.
Yep.
Put a lot of the quarterbacks in the NFL on that Texans team. And let me see. I mean, a lot of them. And I'm not just talking about just the bottom half. Put a lot of guys. Put Matthew Stafford on that team and see what he can really do with it. I mean, I know there's a lot of they got some weapons they found, but I'm just saying what CJ Stroud is doing, and it may be the perfect combination. Maybe they found lightning in a bottle with D'Amico Ryan as the head coach. They got the right guy there. You got Will Anderson Jr., the rookie stud that's leading the defense. I mean, you got all the pieces in place. You got a good collection of veterans with Dalton Schultz, Laramie Tunsil, Robert Woods, guys like that. Nico Collins has emerged. Tank Dell's becoming a star. Noah Brown had the best game of any of them this last week in Nico Collins' absence. So this is a team that there's no way anybody could see them doing this well. Maybe unless maybe the guys in that locker room, maybe they expected it. But outside that locker room, nobody really expected this. And you got to give kudos to every last one of them. And I'm telling you, CJ Stroud belongs in the MVP conversation as of right now at this point in the season.
Yep. And, you know, and people are going to always go for the quarterback that wins the most games or whatever the case may be. I mean, this year is not a clear-cut quarterback that has blown it out of the water, right? You know what I mean? You got a lot of guys in the same level, even passing yards, touchdowns, all that good stuff, right? You know, every year you have a Patrick Mahomes or a Josh Allen or, Lamar Jackson that has all these astronomical numbers that you'll sort of be like, yeah, if they make it to the playoffs, we're going to give them the MVP. I mean, it could be a defensive player in my book. It could be Myles Garrett. It could be another position player. But CJ Stroud has to be put in the conversation because what he's done back-to-back weeks, right? Leading game-winning drives as a rookie against really good damn teams. Cincinnati's not a slouch, bro. All right? Cincinnati's not a slouch. And let me tell you something. They had a hell of a game. The Bengals almost, could have pulled it off. But shout out to the rookie. He's going against a great team. You're going against Joey Buckets. And he is out there, man, with ice freaking water running through his freaking veins, man. 356, a touchdown. Commanding his people, bro. Devin Singletary having his best year, I think. His best game of the season. Probably his best game of his career with 150 rushing yards.
Best game in a while, anyway.
Exactly. But the fact that, what he's able to do with guys like Noah Brown, Dalton Schultz. I mean, look, Tank Dell had another touchdown. Bro, this guy is out there commanding his troops like a freaking general, man. I mean, with his arm. Man. Yep.
And that's the thing, man. You talk about some of those other guys, those names you mentioned. I'll just say it. Those guys right now, top to bottom, they're on better teams than he is.
Yep.
They're doing it with more overall talent, with better defenses. And not to throw shade at the Texans or anything like that. But I'm just saying, by the roster, and you probably judge by the contracts too, and stuff like that. Those teams are supposed to be better than the Texans. There's a reason you had two picks in the top 5 or were able to do that. They're supposed to be better than them. So I don't want to take away from anything the Texans are doing because I think they're probably, at my point in time, they're as far as teams that surprised me the most, this team has got to be the number one surprise to me for the entire season. And CJ Stroud is the biggest reason for that. Without CJ Stroud, this is a 2 and whatever football team. Maybe.
Yep. It says so much about the Wonderlink, right? They
got to get rid of that shit.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
That thing don't mean nothing. That's just something for people to talk about, and we don't even give a shit about it anymore. That shit's outdated and needs to go, and whoever's in charge of that needs to do it.
He hasn't been the first one to score low and not have an unbelievable career in the NFL. And he's also hasn't been the first one or a different quarterback to have such great scores and suck in the NFL. Come on, man. You know what I mean?
What is that? What does that test consist of? Is there any way we can get a copy of that test just to see what's on it? I just want to know what kind of questions they're asking and are they even relevant? I don't know.
I have no idea.
It seems
critical thinking, right? They give you some scenarios and shit like that to see, I guess how mature and what can you make decisions based on high pressure situations. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not like the freaking guy is going to be a freaking, witness interrogator for the cops.
That's what I'm saying, man. Yeah, he's never had any problems, anything anywhere. Like never been in trouble with anything. Not at Ohio State, not high school, nowhere. So why are we doing this? Let's just see what he does, man. And hey, fuck the Wonderlic, man.
That's true, brother. You want to know what's crazy? CJ, again, every week I bring up something that he's done as a record or something new, right? He's the only QB in NFL history to record 25 plus 100 passing yards, 15 plus touchdowns, 5 or fewer interceptions in their first 9 games.
Bro, I do feel like every week you're giving me a new CJ Stroud record.
This guy.
It does seem like that, man. That's
So
crazy,
when you
bro.
tell me you can't put this guy in the conversation, whether he's going to win it or not, you got to be smoking crack, dude. Because every week this kid is doing something that's never been done
It's
before
never
for
been
his
done.
rookie
We've been
quarterback.
playing football for 100 years, whatever. This guy's doing something every week that's never been done in the history of football, and we can't talk about him being the best player in the league this year? Why not?
I mean,
I
I'm
think
telling
it's
you, man.
foolish. I think it's where you get some of these, these older heads and stuff like that. They think
Yeah.
it has to be a guy. It has to be a veteran. No, we didn't say the most. It's not the most
No.
veteran player. It's the most valuable player. Whoever's the best, regardless of age, regardless of position. I feel like it's a quarterback award a lot of times, but regardless, it should be the most valuable player. And this guy is the one that if you took him off his team
Mhm.
would absolutely be a completely different team.
And that's what I like to look at when it comes from an MVP in every sport. What in what position or how would that team be, right, without that player in the lineup or a
Yeah.
different player? So that's to
Yep.
me, it's the same thing. That's why basketball. Sometimes you got these players, man, who you take them out the team and do this team, they got to win like 30 games. Baseball's a little bit different because you need pitching. You need, what I'm saying, it's completely different. But in football, the quarterback just makes such a big difference in the trajectory and success of a team historically, not even just that one season, but just, if you find the franchise quarterback, your team's going to be successful for a very long time,
For a
whether you win a
decade
Super
or
Bowl or
better.
not, or you're going to go to the playoffs. You're going to be
Yeah.
winning every year. A winning culture is nice. You know what I mean? Than just
Absolutely.
sucking win
And
year
it
after year.
all starts with it. That's the face of your franchise.
Yep.
You're putting on every flyer and that's the face of your franchise. And when you find the right guy, that's why you see so many teams gamble on these guys in the top 5 just to take a chance. Because if you
Yep.
find that guy, the Peyton Mannings, the Eli Mannings, the Tom Brady, you find those guys, you're set up for 10 plus years. And that's a lot. I mean, that quarterback alone will make players want to come play there. It raises more money for this. It does so many things if you find that guy. That's why
Mhm.
you see so many people willing to gamble, but they're not just around every corner, man.
You know what? Hey, shout out to the Bengals. I think the Bengals, they're in a tough division, but in the
They're
long
good, dude.
run, they're gonna be fine. You know
They're
what I mean? They're gonna be fine. At the end of the day, Tyler Boyd dropped the ball. That was very makeable.
Oh my God, he killed me, man.
So I can imagine.
I had
You know?
anytime TD parlay. I had Debo, Keenan Allen, and Tyler Boyd was my third one.
Dude, he dropped it. He dropped that
Oh
touchdown,
my
dude.
God, I'm just we don't. I've thrown enough shade at Tyler Boyd for a couple days. I'm gonna leave him alone.
And it was crazy because I wanted him to catch that ball because I wanted to see what a minute and 20 left and see CJ Stroud try to make another game-winning drive like that down the field because he was going to have about over a minute with the ball back if that would have been a catch.
Yeah, man. I just oh, Tyler. But I thought for sure, man, with T. Higgins being out, I was like, this is his day. I was like, there's no way. That was the one I was most sure of that would
Yeah.
catch a touchdown pass.
No, yeah, you're right. And you know what? He made some big plays, in the last
Yeah.
run as well.
Yeah,
You know
he's
what I mean?
a player, man. He's
Oh,
a
he
player.
is.
Like I said, we all, how we get when they cost us our bets and stuff. We got to throw our shade, man. But it didn't hurt nobody more than it hurt him. I promise.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. You know who was putting some hurting though, man? Myles Garrett and that defense in the second half, brother. That Browns defense against the Baltimore Ravens. This is a game that the Ravens were freaking like controlling, dude. All right, from an offensive point and even defensively until the second half. Well, mainly the fourth freaking quarter, where this defense, bro, it is to me right now. It's the top defense in the NFL. Don't you think?
I would say so, man. I can't think of a defense playing better. Like I said, once again, kind of like the quarterback
Mhm.
talk. Maybe some that are playing relatively on the same tier, but you can't put anybody above this team.
No, absolutely not, man. That defense is just a beast. And remember, I was talking about the MVP.
Yep.
Again, what would this defense be? They're pretty good, but without Myles Garrett, who is the anchor and the freaking guy that just disturbs everything, just destroys everything, man. If I ever
Yeah.
seen a player that could be in the MVP talk, would be this guy as a defensive player.
Yeah, I think that guy eats children and small farm animals for breakfast.
Yes,
man.
sir.
He's a freaking monster.
Baby
dude.
cows and shit. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, dude. Just like medium rare.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the Ravens, man, felt like they were up by 2 touchdowns this entire game. Had a
Yeah.
-6.5. Didn't even think it was going to have to sweat it, man.
Mhm.
They kept letting it kind of sneak back in this thing. And I knew when the Browns missed that extra point, I
Yep.
was like, oh, that screwed us right there.
Yep.
I was like, they got no reason to try to go score a touchdown now. And I felt like they were going to get beat, but they seem like they do this. But they did the same thing to the Colts on here. And this might be
Yep.
what keeps them from winning a Super Bowl because they don't have that killer instinct in spots, man. They jump out a lot and they'll let teams climb back in it. They did the same damn thing to the Steelers.
Absolutely.
They had these games won. They could very well be sitting there
Mhm.
10-0, man. They had every one of these games in complete control at one point in time, and they just can't manage to hold on to it. And when you get to playing these good teams in the playoffs, these are playoff caliber teams are doing this too. When you get there in those spots and you don't step on their throat when you got a chance, they wind up coming back to bite you. And that's what's going to keep happening to them if they keep doing this.
No, absolutely. Look, I'm not gonna, Deshaun Watson. Everybody was giving him his praises because he made some great throws, in that fourth quarter and stuff like that. He
About
still had a
time.
horrible
They
game.
paid you enough for it.
I mean, I thought he was gonna give me come back. When I saw him leave the game and PJ Walker trying to close out the first half to do that, Hail Mary, I'm like, oh, here we go again, bro. Another tough
Same
defense.
story.
Here's Deshaun Watson about to freaking take off because he can't handle playing against another tough defense. He's gonna play hurt again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was shocked when he came back and he made some decent throws. However, this defense is the reason why they won, not because of Deshaun Watson. All right. That's my point. Because they were the ones who turned and got the momentum turned around.
Absolutely. Whatever games the Browns win this year, I don't think it's going to be because Deshaun Watson led them on some great, game-winning drive. If he does that, it'll probably be a game they win like 17-14, and the only reason they're in it is because his defense shut the other team out the entire game. But Deshaun Watson's not winning any football games for this team. I'm just not impressed with him. I mean, maybe I'll tell you what, I'll eat the crow. If he comes back, if he does, and he winds up lighting the world on fire second half of the season, I'll eat the crow. But I ain't seen nothing from that guy that tells me he's got it inside of him that he wants to even be a great football player anymore.
Nope. We haven't seen anything since he started playing from last year. His numbers are horrible overall. This year, not alone, just overall, they're just horrible. Not worth 230 something million guaranteed. So
and you got to start to wonder what all that stuff does. I mean, the legal troubles he's had, that's got to affect somebody. I mean, I don't care who you are. That's got to kind of wear on you, and you deal with that. The different things people are saying, all this stuff's got to wear on you a little bit, and it's clearly affected him. Maybe he's eventually able to shake that. Maybe he can come back and be close to the player. I don't think he's ever going to be, at that peak level he was at one time. But maybe he can come back and show us some glimpses. He did make some great throws, some great plays on Sunday. But I don't see that consistency, and I don't see the toughness that I need to see out of him.
I agree with you 100%. I mean, it's this defense is so great, man, and unfortunately with Deshaun Watson there, you're going to have some players that are going to be leaving because they're going to require a lot of money. But at the end of the day, man, it's this defense is the reason why the Browns are 6-3. I mean, their games, just the whole AFC North, man.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next team, coincidentally, no pun intended, talking about defense is the Steelers. All right. Another close game, ugly game, 23-19, offensively challenged kind of game. However, they are, they're getting dubs, man. I don't care how they're doing it, but they're getting dubs just like the Browns. You know what I mean? So it's just this whole division, man. It's a freaking dogfight.
I'm pretty sure we'll had a stat or something. They've been like outgained in every single game or something.
Something like that.
And that's insane, dude. And they're sitting there
Wild,
6-3. Are you kidding me? If you even had a pulse on offense, gee, this blows my mind, man.
Look at
this team it's Mike. That's Miss Mike Tomlin football, man.
Yeah, it's Mike Tomlin football. Absolutely. I mean, they outscore the teams, but overall statistically, the other team is much better. They suck on third down efficiency, right? 30% to 50%. Usually, when the other team wins in third down efficiency, they're winning the game. All right,
no shit, right? No shit. That's like one of the key stats that wins you football games.
Yeah.
How do you lose that stat and keep winning football games?
It's like this. Interceptions. Here we go. You know what I'm saying? When you have like time of possession, they just run the ball a lot, pretty well. It's just one of those things that I don't even get to. When I look at these stats like this, team percentage and stuff like that, I have no idea how they keep winning. How they're 6-3. But they are 6-3 and they're winning games. So it's like you still got to put them in the conversation of guess what, man? You're going to have a division winner and you're going to have two wild card teams out of here.
Yeah, talk to our guy David over at Genesis Fantasy on Sunday, man. Big Steelers fan. Mm-hmm. And he's like, yeah, everybody talks about Mike Tomlin's streak and all this stuff. He's like, I kind of hate it as a Steelers fan. He's like, because we always finish like 9-8 and get like the 17th pick in the draft. So it's like just good enough to not be under 500, maybe make the playoffs, but you're never getting a good draft pick to like get those studs that everybody's getting in the top 10. And I'm like, that's kind of true, man.
And remember, with Ben, they got lucky because he was a late pick. So, thought there was strike lining in a bottle with Pickett, and then through 2 seasons, Pickett,
tiny hands, man.
Pickett, tiny or big hands, he ain't it, man. I mean, I like the kid's grit, like his toughness.
And George Pickens is gonna lead that place, man.
Oh hell yeah, dude.
He wants out of there as soon as he can get out. He's going to be gone. He is not taking his 5th year off, and he wants to go buy. You can see him over there, and he's like, "This just ain't it." And that dude, somebody's going to scoop him up, put him in Kansas City's offense, man. I think we've said that before. Put that man.
Oh my gosh.
Patrick Mahomes. Ooh,
Dude.
he might be the receiver that gets you over 2,000 yards, man. That dude
Wow.
could play, bro. I'm telling you, they are wasting him up there in Pittsburgh.
Shit.
There ain't no reason with a guy like that on your team. Deontay Johnson, Najee Harris,
Mhm.
Jalen Warren. With those guys on your team, man, and you're scoring, barely breaking 3 touchdowns, you're getting outgained in every game with those
Yep.
weapons, man. The offensive line's terrible, but, I mean, Scott, I don't know.
You know,
It's got to be coordinator or quarterback issue, one of the two.
yeah, one thing I've been looking, I think it's a combination of both.
Yeah,
You know
that's
what I mean?
probably a combination. Yeah.
Combination of both. One thing I'm looking at is they finally figure the balance of the run, right? We know that your ground and pound inside, it's going to be Najee Harris, and you notice he's done much better getting into the end zone, not getting as many yards, but then we're seeing Jalen Warren, man, getting not the bulk. I mean, they kind of split 50-50 on snaps, but Jalen is getting a lot of that. Zeke is Najee Harris and Tony Pollard is Jalen Warren, getting the big breaks, right? The big runs. Right. And then, Najee's getting all the hard yardage and getting the goal line touches. And of course, Jalen Warren also catching the football. So it's like, that's what's kept them alive this last few games. I think they won like 3 in a row or something like that.
Yeah. That's a great analogy, man. I didn't think about it like that. That's definitely like Tony Pollard and Zeke's what it feels like right there.
Yep.
And Jalen Warren looks like the guy. Maybe they're moving in that direction for the future, much like the Cowboys did with Tony Pollard, because, you see him catching more balls out of the backfield. He's a better pass blocker. He just seems like the number one back here. I know it's close to a 50-50 split. They're both playing well. I mean, there's nothing wrong with either one of those stat. You'll take that from either one of those stat lines right there.
Absolutely.
And but yeah, he just seems to be the guy that's getting kind of the lion's share of carries in the key moments right there. But I just think the Steelers' offense should be much better. The offensive line, that's the thing. They're playing much improved. They're pretty bad. They've been banged up. Maybe they got some guys back and stuff. They look a lot better. And the running game tells you that. But that could also have to do with the offensive play calling. More the balance, take some of the pressure off Kenny Pickett and to open up some of those running lanes. But I don't understand. Surely they can't sustain this, man.
Uh-huh.
I just don't see them. I don't know. That's you see teams like this, it might be time to fade the Steelers because the rest of the way, there's no way they can keep this up and I don't see this offense taking some major uptick. So it might be time to start looking at fading the Steelers because I don't think historically those numbers do tend to kind of, they'll average out. You'll see there's a reason those numbers are what they are. And they've already kind of way outperformed expectations due to all those metrics. And I think it's time to maybe be careful with them from now on.
Yeah, because crunch time now, it's when the quarterback really becomes important.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean? And I know their defense is great. TJ Watt is just, another monster. He's right up there with Myles Garrett. But this is where the quarterback plays, takes a big part of your offense. And Pickett can make throws, man. Pickett is inconsistent. It's a shame because Pickens, like you said, man, put him in the Chargers, all right? Put him in the Bengals.
About anywhere, man.
Oh, come on, anywhere. This guy's like you said, he's Jamar Chase. He's 7-11, bro. He'll get open.
I'm telling you, I think we would be having a whole different conversation about who the best wide receiver in football was if George Pickens was on an offense that wasn't completely anemic.
Hey, you know who wasn't anemic this week? And I think absolutely through one game impressed the hell out of everybody because it beat a team that has won like 5 in a row. San Francisco 49ers, man. They came back with a bang and really, really, I think, are making people question these Jags after the Jags playing a really solid team.
I think people are going to do that. I think it's going to be an overreaction because
the
49ers were just ready to go, dude.
They were due.
This was a ticking time bomb for a month. Mm-hmm. They lost 3 in a row, had the bye week right after that. They had 2 weeks to sit and prepare for these boys, be ready to go, and they were steaming on it, got everybody back healthy. Said last week, man, when Debo comes back into this offense, it provides a whole new element. Now Brock Purdy can get rid of that ball quicker, run different sort of RPO-style plays.
Yep.
I mean, it allows them to do so many different formations, and it takes a lot of pressure off of Brock Purdy and everybody else for that matter. I'm telling you right now, the key to the 49ers Super Bowl run is Deebo Samuel. If he can stay healthy, it's not Christian McCaffrey. It's a big part of it. But there's a lot of backs that can step in. Elijah Mitchell and those guys, you can plug that back in there for Christian McCaffrey. I know I'm not being foolish, but I'm saying the key to this is they can win a Super Bowl if Christian McCaffrey goes down. They can't win a Super Bowl if Deebo goes down, man.
Yep.
That's
well, you saw it.
Opinion.
Yep. And Deebo, again, the switchblade, right?
Yeah.
The end around again and scoring a rushing touchdown, 4 receptions, 30 yards, but he's also such a big decoy while he's out there, right? That opens up the door for look at George Kittle. Again, 3 receptions. Remember that game that he had over 100 receiving yards again? He only had like 3 receptions, but 3 of them were touchdowns, right? That's what it does. That's what Deebo does, man. It opens the game for Kittle, Brandon Ayuk, all right? Christian McCaffrey's going to do what he does, all-purpose freaking monster. But Deebo is the guy that kind of makes that offense click, and Brock Purdy feels very safe and confident when Debo is there because, again, he could hit him on a short slant, yards after catch, but he's also such a big decoy because he could hurt the secondary in so many different ways that teams prepare for that. And then all of a sudden the other guys eat because they have talented position players.
And
Kittle is, has lost a few miles, but can still do what he just did last week. All right.
the way that dude plays, I can't believe he's made it this long, man. That boy
Yeah.
will not shy away from a lick, man. He will run over your ass. He one of them
Yep.
corn-fed Iowa boys, man.
Oh, that's true, brother. That's true. Man, so I mean, just a complete annihilation, man. Now look, the Jags, again, I've been saying it now for this 4 weeks.
It's about time for this.
Okay, yeah. I think it's time to start pointing the finger, all right, at their supposedly franchise quarterback who made a leap last year. But that leap, in my book, I think he has regressed with better weapons. Is it honest to say that?
I can't disagree. I can't disagree, man.
It's time.
I'm not gonna be too hard on him this game because of all the other things we just said. The 49ers may have done this to anybody. It may not have mattered who. They may have done this to the Texans or anybody. These quarterbacks that are playing great, they may have done this same thing to him just because they were going to be ready to go in this thing. So I'm not ready to just call for his head yet. But you're right, though, man. It is time to start rising the case a little bit in these big games, these big moments. These are the teams you got to beat to win a Super Bowl for your franchise. That's what they drafted you to do. So you got to start performing better than this, man. Anytime he goes up against the big dogs, the Chiefs, the 49ers, you see these big games he gets put in, and he doesn't play great. And it's time to maybe, I need you to start seeing some things, Trevor Lawrence. I need to start seeing some things.
I absolutely think so. His numbers are down if you look at averages, right? I know it's not a full season yet, but 9 touchdowns at this point in the season, 6 interceptions. That's only 2 less than what he had all last year, right? Through half a season.
Yeah.
All right. So that worries me. All right. His overall rating is down. His completion percentage, I don't see it here, but it most likely is down as well. 7 fumbles, 4 of them lost. Again, cuffing the football was a problem last year as well, but he's trending to be the same way. So he's trending to have the same amount of fumbles, probably, and more interceptions, right? With probably less touchdowns, unless he just completely goes on a rampage of 20 touchdowns and no INTs to finish the last 8 games of the season.
And he's got the talent to do it.
He does.
It's in there. I mean, like I said, I'm not ready. Well, I want to see the rest of the season because the NFL season is a marathon. You're going to have peaks and valleys. You're going to have a 2 or 3 week stretch where you're the man. You're going to have a 2 or 3 week stretch where you're a bum. Everybody, it's going to go. It's all about, that's what makes these guys so special, man. That's why it's hard to find that guy for your franchise quarterback because you got to be able to handle all that shit too. You got to be able to take the good with the bad and just roll with it. And then we see how you respond. And in the past, I've seen this guy's been a winner at every level. He has.
Yes.
There's no reason to believe he can't do it now. It's too small of a sample size at this point. I know we're starting to get some of that under us,
numbers
but
are everything.
I'm just saying it's been a little.
So call yours.
Oh, that threw me off.
Nowhere.
Threw me off a little bit. But yeah, we're starting to get some sample size, but I still need to see more. We're still at the early part of Trevor Lawrence's career, but it is time to start seeing him play a little better in these big games.
Look, I agree with you, but I think I've been very patient with him this week, and every week I try to but I think I get it. The 49ers were due. It was a kind of the perfect storm. But man, our guy, it's time to say he needs to ship up, man, because right now he's not looking great this season. But you know what? That's such a talented team. That's a talented team in a weak division that I'm not going to hit the panic button on that team yet because they're that good.
Yeah, they're still sitting there 6-3.
Yeah, they are 6-3. Great offense. I mean, great defense. I mean, Josh Allen is nasty. All right, let's be honest with that guy. He is a complete animal.
He is nasty, bro. I got him in my IDP league. He's kind of a savior.
He is.
He'll
have
a chance to prove himself in some games. Trevor Lawrence, that is.
That's true. I don't want to call this guy a savior at all, but Kyler Murray comes back, man, after being out for 335 days, almost a full calendar year, and as weird as that game was, he delivers a victory.
Yeah. This dude, no wonder he likes Call of Duty so much. He's a walking video game, man.
He is.
I was really happy to see him come back from that injury in the first action we've seen since that ACL tear. He looked like same Kyler, man. He still had that get up. He could still move.
Yeah,
he could still get out of the pocket and elude that pressure and all that stuff. He's still fun to watch. He'll still run 80 yards to get 10, and it's still the same Kyler there. That knee looked good. I was pleased to see that. You always want to see a guy bounce back from a major injury like that. He'll still be the same guy just for them, just for their own personal things. So, because guys got to overcome a lot when it comes to stuff like that. So I was happy to see that, man. Good for him. And kudos to them, man. This is not an easy win. It was a Falcons team that I don't think is great, but it's a team that is, they're not bottom of the barrel. by any
No.
means. And it was good to see them bounce back. And we said we thought these Cardinals might have a chance. I actually took them on the money line, man. So it was a little, there's a W.
And look, for what is worse, Tyler Heineke was having a decent game until he got hurt. You know what I mean?
It was.
415. Bijan had a great game after being missing in action for like the last 2 or 3. So hey, it was one of those things. But the Falcons is what they are, right? Decent defense, great running backs. That's it.
I think they've shot their wad at this point in the
Oh,
season.
absolutely.
I think they've played their best football at this point.
They like last year. You know what I mean? Same thing. Great running game. With Patterson and then also Algier and they again Pitts and then with Mariota they started okay. They were like at one point they were like in first place. I think at 5 and 6 or something like that. And then after that it was like
Kyler Murray in that offense, man.
I think that might be a little that might be an option.
That's what I'm saying. That's the Cardinals are still they're still in line for that number 1 or number 2 pick. If you can get some stuff for Kyler Murray, man, a place like Atlanta, that would be a spot. He could be real dangerous.
Listen, brother, I am rooting for the Cardinals and the Panthers to keep freaking winning.
Right, I bet you are.
Right, I do. I want them to keep winning. All right, I
Well,
want Tommy DeVito to be the starting quarterback for the remainder of the season of my Giants. All right, because I want this to become a reality of us to have one of those top 3 picks.
Buddy, I think it's a big reality. I wonder what the odds on y'all to get there right now because I'm about to go bet it, man.
Me too. I'm about to go bet that too after tonight.
Yeah,
I got to go pull that up in the sports book. You know what I'm saying, dude? I do. I want this team to keep winning. I want the Panthers to win. I need the other 2. I guess we're the only teams. I think the Arizona, the Giants, and the Panthers are the ones with the least amount of wins. Right? Both of us are 2-8.
The Bears are right,
and the Bears are also 2. Yeah. So because now the Bears are probably going to go for a quarterback as well. So
the Bears are going to get the Panthers pick too. So the Bears get 2 of those.
That's right. So yes, I want this to keep trending that way. Because officially we are the worst team. The Giants are the worst team right there. My squad are the worst team in the NFL. There's no freaking doubt about it. At this point, let's just fucking hook, line, and sinker. Let's tank. Let's go for the bank, baby. That's all I got to say.
I understand, man. I don't blame you, man. That's what I'd be rooting for at this point too.
I would absolutely go crazy, man. And we'll touch the Giants again. I'm going to leave those for next to last, right?
That's fair.
So the Seahawks beat out the Commanders. Convincing win. Seahawks, I believe, they bounced back after having a real bad game and struggling in the red zone the week before. Again, I 29-26. Look, freaking Howell is leading the league in passing yards right now. He's top 4 or top 3 or something like that. He's
throws it 45 times a game, man. That's one of my easiest bets of the week. I had him over 36.5 pass attempts. It was like easy money.
Another freaking 300 plus passing game, 3 touchdowns. I mean, this guy is actually. He is playing himself into a long-term contract here, dude. All right, and some really decent money. Because if Daniel Jones got paid, all right, this guy is probably gonna get way more money than Daniel Jones, dude. And he's been sacked more.
Yeah, tell me, how can you be mad at that stat line, man? What is that? 29, 44, 312, 3 TDs, no picks. Yep. That guy ain't beating you. He ain't the reason you're losing.
No, he's not.
He's the only reason you got a prayer.
He's the reason why you're staying competitive in teams. When you're playing teams like the Eagles and Dallas and shoot, dude. I mean, hey,
and he's doing that while being one of the probably the most. I think he is the most.
He is the most
quarterback at this point in time because Daniel Jones hurt. He's the most sacked quarterback in the league. He's putting numbers up after getting hit. Y'all gonna get him broke, man. Y'all need to get that man some protection.
It's a protection. I mean, I'm telling you, dude, this guy's he's playing himself into a Kirk Cousin-like scenario here. Remember Kirk Cousin when he came in the league with Washington and took over for RG3 and all of a sudden was putting up yards, like slinging it and putting up yardage and numbers like this, like no tomorrow, and gets all his money from the Vikings and he's still there. This guy is on the Kirk Cousin route, brother. Mark my words.
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. This guy came in. I watched this guy play a lot in college down at North Carolina, man. He can gunsling, man. He can throw the pill out there. And like you said, he's definitely, but you got to get him out of Washington, man. That's where you got to die.
Oh, man. And Gino finally had a game that resembled a lot of his games last year. 369, 2 touchdowns. They actually found the red zone a couple of times. You know what I'm saying? With Kenneth Walker, I mean, it was not really the red zone. Kenneth Walker was kind of it was a 1 reception, 60-something yard touchdown. But that's why, that's where 60-something yards of this 369 came from. But he was throwing the football well. It was, again, another game that came down to the end. I mean, what do we have, like 5 different games this week that was decided by a game-winning field goal?
After last night, 6.
Oh, yes, last night. I forgot. See, that's how I forgot about last night because I didn't watch it. That's how bad it was.
Man, that was that one. I had the under, baby. Under 47. Bro. We got there. We're good.
Dude, yeah, I got the under on that. And I also picked the I also picked the whatchamacallit. I picked the interceptions prop as well.
The interception prop. The only one we missed was Dalton Kincaid over 5.5.
That's what I
got
missed.
5. Yeah, he got 5, man. We didn't even have one more catch, man.
Brother. My four parlay was that one. All right. I picked the Kincaid anytime touchdown.
Nice.
But I also picked the 5.5, and I picked the under, and the other one that we did, and the interception. I was like, because I usually will grab something from you, but like, I'm gonna mix something else. I think it's gonna happen.
Right.
Shit, I got the touchdown right, and I was like, all right, this is great. The hardest thing happened already because Kincaid has been like averaging like 7 receptions the last like 3 games. You know, he's been like his number one wide target receiver.
He had like 24 receptions in the last 3 games. It's crazy like that, man.
It's crazy. So it was funny because he had 5, right? I think he had 5.
Yeah, right at 5. Yeah, he had 5, and and they had to throw the ball. They had to keep playing to win the game. One like they were running the ball and they weren't passing anymore. They had to play. It was a back and forth game. So you thought for sure he was going to snag one more for us somewhere right there, and he didn't. Man, that's the only one that got us last night.
You know, since we're on the subject anyway, right? And this is ridiculous, man. Josh Allen just got Ken Dorsey fired.
That was terrible last night, dude.
Let's be honest, dude. That was just horrible. I turned it all. I went to sleep. I don't know what I was doing. I was doing something else. And I said, I'm not even going to watch this, bro. I have no interest anyway in this game, just for like the prop betting, just for the bet.
Yeah.
But at one point, if I don't have interest, I don't watch the game either. I said, whatever happens, happen. But you kept getting your alerts. And I'm like, I can't believe these motherfuckers are like, they're down like 15-0 or 15-3 or 8. Or it was stupid. Something like that. It was 15-8. It was just bad.
We had the under, and we're sitting there with 9 points in the game. It's 9-0 with 3.5 minutes left in the second half, and we're like, we're not even going to sweat this thing.
Yep.
And then they score 14 points in the last 3.5 minutes, and it's like I'm right on line. Then they're at 23 at that point. We're like, what the fuck? And then it was just a weird game, and neither one of these teams can wake up and feel good about themselves this morning because the Broncos did everything they could to lose this game, getting 4 turnovers and all the different things that happened. They were given this game; it was handed to them, and they still tried to lose it.
What's nuts is that when you look at this game right now, then you look at the Denver Broncos, who looked horrible. And look, let's give credit where credit is due. Russell has played much better than he did last year.
Hey, look, right? I will, because I thought there were a lot of shade to that guy, but I saw a couple glimpses of old Russ last night on some plays, not the whole game, but he made some plays last night. I'm with you. I'll give credit where credit's due, man.
But Javonte Williams, I think finally Sean Payton, who I think he's way over his head still, but has figured out a way to use what he has to be competitive and win some games. The running game, right? He's making Russ move and go, conservative, like back in the Seattle days where he wasn't just slinging the hell out of the ball. The early days where this stat line right here with Russ, 2 touchdowns, 193, 24 for 29, had another 30 on the ground. That was his thing the first 4 years in the league, right?
Yeah.
Including the first year they won. So they were successful with that formula. And I think that's what Sean Payton has figured out as long as he gets the production from the ground. Because remember, you also had, what was the running back? Oh my gosh.
Beast mode, man. Yeah, beast mode.
Yeah. Oh, I can't believe it.
Why am I drawing a blank right now?
One of my favorite running backs of all time, bro. Beast mode. I'm just here so I don't get fined. You know what I mean?
Golly, what am I doing here? I
can't believe we're missing a goats. We're blanking out on one of the goats.
Oh God, I gotta look it up, man.
Oh man.
Keep going.
But think about it. Beast mode would run in. You had other running backs. Because think about it, dude. They didn't have great wide receivers back then. They didn't have a DK or a Lockett. This is
Marshawn Lynch, man. Golly.
Marshawn, bro. Marshawn Lynch.
Here, I was like, I kept like, it's one of those things where like LeGarrette Blount kept popping and I knew that wasn't it. And I was just like, I'm not even gonna put, hey, I like a LeGarrette Blount. I'm not gonna put him in the same breath as Beast Mode, man. But I was just watching some of him the other day. I had to get that out. Jeez.
Absolutely, man.
Crazy, bro.
I mean, Jared Judy's not the guy they thought they drafted. He's not, absolutely not. Shout out to a Deerfield product. But they're 4-5, and they are right now. Sean Payton, as bad as they look. Remember starting the year 1-5 or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
dude, they've looked competitive. I mean, I don't think they're gonna win the division or they're gonna make the playoffs, or I think they're probably gonna win 7 games. But it's still such a big improvement, from last year.
I mean, yeah, but it's a big improvement from the first month of the season.
Absolutely,
you look a lot better. You're winning games.
First couple of months,
and exactly. You're playing much better. You're involved. You haven't lost the locker room just yet. You see these guys getting a little inspired. They played hard last night. They still tried to give it away with some stupid mistakes at stupid times. There's no reason the Bills should have been in this game, man. And the offense has got to be more efficient. Russ played all right, but there's no. This is how they're going to win football games. If they're going to win, they got to win like this. They're not blowing the doors off of anybody. If they're going to win football games, it's going to be in an ugly fashion. They're going to be bad to watch. Yeah, I mean, this is. I think Broncos fans expected a lot more.
Absolutely. Absolutely. They still got the dub. And you know what? They still got the dub. It's just, I feel that the Buffalo Bill are the bigger story here because they were supposed to be competing for that AFC. And honestly, dude, Ken Dorsey is not the answer. Neither is the head coach is a defensive minded kind of guy. This is just such a really bad hangover after Brian Dable has left this organization.
I agree with you, man.
As bad as the Giants are looking this year is not Brian Dable's fault. He's trying to come up with plays out of his ass with what he has, with a bunch of cab drivers and dishwashers. That's what we have in the Giants, right? And when he was the offensive coordinator for that team, it's the best season, best years of Josh Allen's career, and I think is showing this year. He has really regressed the last couple seasons, including looking a lot this year like Josh Allen from year 1 and year 2.
Yeah, it seems to be just kind of predictable.
Yep.
Seems like,
He's trying to force the issue everywhere. I don't know. Just haven't find that balance where, dude, Josh, you got teams that you could beat without throwing it 45 times or trying to throw into double coverage. You know, I don't know. I don't get it. There's no sync at all with this offense.
Yeah, that's the thing, man. Like I said, I mean, I've heard some of the different people talk, Ken Dorsey and all the different things, but they just don't seem very creative.
No.
They don't seem like, I think they underutilize James Cook. I really do. I wish that guy would
too.
get the hell out of there. We'll take him down in Tampa, man. Please ship James Cook down to Tampa. We'll take that dude right now because I think they underutilize. He had that fumble last night, first play of the game.
Yep, okay. And they set him down.
Weird play. But then they benched that man for the next quarter and a half. That was the first play of the football game. They benched the next quarter and a half. He still winds up having over 100 yards or
he did.
Whatever. And I'm like, you just wasted a quarter and a half of that guy when you might have not been chasing 9 points right there. And I just think maybe I understand what you're trying to do, but like that wasn't really his fault. The next fumble they had was Josh Allen. Like he dropped that ball. And then he had that one. I don't know if you saw it late in the game when he broke that run. I don't know.
Yep.
I felt so good for this dude where it bounced back up to him. Like he got it knocked out and it bounced up and hit him right in stride. He still broke like a 45-yard. I was like, please don't fumble again. Because I was like, they'll put you on the bench to rot if you do. But I think they underutilize that guy and I hope he gets out of there. But yeah, just no creativity there. And maybe we'll see something with a coordinator change. Maybe we'll see something new. But right now, they all look bad. Look,
that's one of those things that I think the coach is going to be on the hot seat and it's going to be kind of one of those gutting jobs. Because you also look, whatever you have around him, it's not working. In the words of Gabe Davis, Gabriel Dave. What is it, Gabriel Davis?
Yeah, Gabe Davis.
Yeah, Mister. I can only run one way.
Dude's a freak athlete, very poor route runner.
Exactly. Now I get with Diggs what you got going on, but I think it's gonna be one of those things that you have Dalton Kincaid, who's could be that guy for years to come as tight end. But I think it's time to change like pretty much your whole setup, man. Dude. I would still keep Cook because I think with the new blood offensively and the coordinator spot or even head coaching, they could use what they have, these young players, and then surround them with some really good quality players to kind of because you got to revive Josh Allen's career because he is shot. All right, he is shot.
In the
His
head.
confidence is low.
Yeah.
It's up here now.
Yeah, and that's the thing is you don't start using these guys like James Cook and stuff. They're gonna have no reason to want to hang around when those contracts are up. Those rookie contracts are up. They have no reason to want to stay there, man. And you got to show them that you're committed to them, you believe in them, and those things. But yeah, I'm with you right now. It looks like there's all kind of trouble up there in Buffalo. We've kind of been saying it all year long. Not nearly performed to the expectations they had coming into the season, but they just look like it. They don't look comfortable. Even the win, the only game they've looked comfortable in is that Miami game. That's the only game they look good. I know that they got injuries on defense, and that obviously like key injuries to the probably the top 2 players, and that does hurt you. But I'm still not seeing enough from the offense to even tell me they would be winning those games with those guys on defense because you're not scoring enough points.
Oh man, it's true. And I hate to bring this up following here the Buffalo Bills. I think Josh Allen has been beaten up with ugly stick over and over again this season, and especially last night. And of course, you knew that somebody had to be the scapegoat. Right. So it starts with the offensive coordinator and then it's going to end up with the head coach. Pretty much it. Moving on to the Giants and the Dallas Cowboys. These cow bitches own the Giants. Like, I don't want to say the word because we might get in trouble, but they own them like some type of labor here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. We'll leave it. Use your imagination, folks. Yeah, you ain't wrong.
Brother, this is bad. This is just 49-17. Again, at this point, I am in tank Giants. Please freaking tank for the rest of the season. All right. Dallas owns us. We are their bitches. This game was over by the second quarter. We knew it was going to be ugly. I actually picked the over. It was let me tell you the parlay, the 2 out of the 4 that hit for me, right? One of them, believe it or not, had a giant player in it. Tommy DeVito's rushing prop was over 12. That's what I picked, and he ended up having what, like 34? He rushed for like
Man.
41
You took him
yards.
over? I actually took him
Over.
under on under 0.5 touchdown passes. I was like, no way this guy throws a touchdown pass this week.
Throw a fucking touchdown.
Man. He threw 2. I was like, whoa. At least he didn't make me sweat. At least he didn't just throw that last one, the last second, you know. At least he had another one before that. But yeah, hey, I mean, what could you expect? I mean, there's not this guy wasn't gonna have.
Dude.
He was gonna be a tall task, and it's a cool story. Talk about all the tickets he gave away to his family and stuff.
Yep.
I mean, that's cool. That's cool. You did it, man. You're there. You played in the league, but yeah, this guy's not the answer, bro.
No, he's not the answer. No, he's the answer this year. This guy needs to stay a starting fucking quarterback right now. I don't want this guy to be I don't want Tyrod Taylor to be back in the lineup. All right.
No, absolutely
at this
not.
point, I want this guy to be my guy. He is producing better than Daniel Jones right now because and at the end, and we still got to tank with racing. So
that's what I'm saying. This guy is the key to finding his successor because how bad he plays depends on whether you get one of those top 2 picks, man.
And I don't care any Giant fans because we have stupid motherfuckers out there that says, but no, we still got that Daniel Jones contract. Most of it is front loaded. We just need we just need to pay him 1 more year. So draft a quarterback, let him sit behind Danny for like the first 4 or 5 games next season. Bench Danny. That's it. You're done. Because after year 2 of this contract, which is next year, no hit to the fucking cap. That's why I love these contracts. People were bitching about it was a good contract because they restructured $70 million of that contract was paid up front. After this year, he ain't got no more money guaranteed, bro. So you could drop his ass or trade him or do whatever the hell you need to do with Danny.
Yeah.
Draft one of these 3 guys coming out of college, bro. That's it. That's the type of guy that I am.
I'm with you, bro. I ain't mad at it, man. That sounds like a pretty solid plan to me.
Fuck that, man. If the GM doesn't see that, we're gonna have a problem. I will be tanking the hell. I'll be paid. Look, you know what I do? I tell Saquon Barkley, Saquon, you're hurt for the rest of the year. What was your bonus? 900,000 for meeting these numbers. I'm gonna give you 1.5 under the
yeah, I'll double it, bro.
Don't worry about it, bro. No, let's make it a cool $2 million, and I'm gonna resign you for a 2-year contract for next year with $17 million a year. But I'm gonna give you your bonus this year. I'm gonna double your bonus. You're hurt for the rest of the season. I don't want any positive offense moving forward that's gonna generate into us something even remotely close to a win.
I love it, bro. I love it. I like how they should hire you up there, man.
Brother, I'm gonna send them my resume. I'm gonna send them my operations management experience that I have over 15
Just
years.
clip this video out, send it to him, man. And be like, here you go.
I think I will.
Yeah, here's my audition, man. How'd I do?
And then hey, you'll be my assistant GM because I need you to scout the other bastards, all right?
Absolutely. Hey, I'm in, bro. That sounds like we get a good pay raise on that.
Yeah, hell yeah, bro. We could do our podcast and work for the team, man. I think we'll be living the dream, baby.
Don't you talk dirty to me, man.
oh, Dave, he gets us paid, bro.
That's right. That's right.
And with that being said, my friend, God, this is such a bad show. I'm gonna need like a bunch of thumbs after this. These bastards, the Dallas Cow bitches, are just because of the fact that they own the Giants this season, they are my goat of the week.
Greatest of all time. Greatest of all time. Don't cross that line. Go.
Tell me, when in the hell have you ever seen a team own a team this bad? Another team, a grown man team, like an NFL team, 89-17 through 2 games, and all 17 of those points came in this game in garbage time.
Man, I'm telling you, I don't remember a team dominating a team so bad in 2 games in one season, a division opponent like this.
Division opponent, which is worse.
I can't remember a time when it was worse than this, man. I really can't. This is I felt bad for you. I mean, that was my easiest pick of the week, though. They were giving y'all 17.5. I said I would have probably lost because I said I'd probably took it up to 34.5.
No, I picked the
about what, 32?
Dude, I did a 4-leg parlay. I picked the 17.5, right? I picked anytime touchdown for CeeDee Lamb. That was number 2. Tommy with the rushing prop. And then my 4th was CeeDee Lamb with the overage on yardage. So.
Yeah.
And it paid me like, I think it was 12-1 or something like that. It was 12 plus 12. Yeah, I got to look at my ticket. It was a nice one.
Yeah.
I was nervous with Tommy. The guy said he's going to have 12 yards. I seen him run for touchdowns. I seen him, get over like 10. Yeah. He's anything went between 20. And when he made that one run that was like 14, 15 yards, okay, here we go. That was the hardest part of the game right there.
Right. Yeah. Okay, we got that. Got that one done. Let's go.
And after the first quarter when the game was 7-0, I'm like, oh shit. All of a sudden, boom, the barrage just started like blazing. You know what I mean? So
they did make us like the Giants got that goal line stand. They made us feel like it was gonna be. Yes. I was like, y'all ain't gonna do something stupid here today, are you? Like,
absolutely. That's what I thought.
And then all of a sudden I was like, no, they are who we thought they were.
It was great. You knew you were going to hit the spread on this game in quarter 2.
Oh, yeah. I love those. I'm like, shit, we should have bet more on this, man.
This was
That's
the
the only
easiest.
thing you regret about those. You just wish you'd have bet more.
That's true, man. I would have gone higher on my damn. Yeah, you're right. I was one of those things that this was being one of the parlays that I sweated the least in the whole entire season.
Absolutely, dude. Absolutely.
And if you told me that it involved the Giants, 2 different type of props and the 2 different type of legs in the Giants, because I picked the Giants, I picked Dallas in the numbers, but of course, the rushing touchdown, I was like, yeah, I didn't want to do anything with I didn't want to do anything with any other player in that team, dude. Just Tommy.
No.
Tommy was my guy.
Yeah, I hear you, man. I got nothing wrong with that, man. It was, hey, you picked the right one.
No, absolutely, man. Oh man, listen, before I'm gonna go do the power rankings first and foremost, right? So because the loser of the week, it's a little different this week, right?
Okay.
As we're nearing like the second half of the season, we do less games. You got to see me start mixing in a little bit more sports, cricket. I'm going to get you out of your comfort zone. You know what I mean? We'll throw some basketball in there and stuff like that. I'll ease you right in, man. You know what I mean?
That's fair, man. I understand.
One thing about the Average Joe Sports Talk podcast, baby, your boy hits everything. All right,
I like
for soccer and hockey, and because I'm not, those are the things I don't know. I might do some hockey, whatever news, but baseball, basketball, you'll see me like as the season go on. This comes down and this goes up. We're gonna be talking a lot about top storylines and stuff. You know what I mean? So
that's right. I like it.
So the next topic, we're gonna do the power rankings. Usually I go loser of the week. Now we're gonna go power ranking, right? And I still have the Bengals out because remember I didn't give you mine last week. The week before I had them out. I'm still gonna keep them out because that loss still kind of hits me a little bit. They should be here. But the way that I have it best is of course the Eagles. Eagles right now, regardless, they're the only one loss team. You got to give them number 1 in my book. Chiefs, bye week, I still number 2, after a good win. The Dolphins, keep them number 3. I think I jumped the 49ers a lot from like number 10 that I had 2 weeks ago. And I'm going based on what I had a couple of weeks ago to number 4 because it was such an impressive win against a division leading team. And I know the Jags, right? We'll have our question marks. However, they're still a team that has won a few games in a row. So I think that's a huge win for the 49ers. And the way that they did it is kind of like 49er, like in the first 9 games, the first winning streak of the first 5 games of the season.
Yeah.
Ravens dropped down from, I had them on number 3 and you had them on number 1 last week. To me, I got them on number 6. They would have been number 1 in my book. All right. Or number 2, maybe if they would have won this week. Got the Jags dropping down, got the Lions at number 5, bro. Lions came back strong. Very, very good victory. On Thursday night. Then I got the Browns because, beating the Ravens, man, they need to be, they deserve to be back in the top 10. And of course the Steelers, because as ugly as they look, fucking guys are still 6-3.
I gotta have those Browns higher than that, man.
I
like what I'm seeing. That defense, like you said, Myles Garrett playing the caliber of football he's playing. It's still too early to tell. We can always, next week they may come out and shit the bed.
It is
in a totally different tune, but yeah, I didn't see more out of the Dolphins. That's the only one I have a problem with being that high is the Dolphins, just because when I've seen them play in big time games, I've just seen them get smacked in the mouth, and I need to see more out of them in those spots.
Okay, I agree with you. Get the fuck out is definitely the Seahawks, even though they won because I think they're fugazi, and the Bills because Josh Allen. Listen, bro, he should take accountability and should be out there in that press conference this morning and say, "I'm sorry, Ken," because I know you're not probably the best offensive coordinator in this league. But I did not do anything to help your cause to be better. All right. Because
right.
Josh Allen has 6 interceptions in 6 straight games, at least 1 interception in 6 straight games. I forget how many total because he had 2 this game. That's unacceptable. And I don't care how bad your offensive, games are and coordination or game script. That's all on the quarterback.
Yeah.
Out of 4 of those 6 are all on the quarterback, or maybe all 6, if I have to go back and review them.
Yeah, you make more money than anybody else, man. You should have you deserve to get the finger pointed at you in those spots.
So I think he should be going out there and saying, "Man, I feel bad for Ken. Good luck. A lot of this was me."
Yeah,
move on.
I'm with you.
And so now moving on to the loser of the week, so we can end up in style, brother. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit here. Let me hit the intro. My loser of the week is it's gonna be related to the NBA.
The who, the her.
As you know, the NBA, it's about a month and a half into the season. And one of the biggest storylines of the offseason was James Harden already, doing what he does best, putting on his fat suit, not practicing. I want to get traded again, butt hurtness.
Fuck
Same
that
shit
guy.
that's happened throughout his career. It happened with OKC back in the day after the NBA Finals when they reached and they got beat by Miami. Happened in freaking the Rockets, okay? It's happened in every team. It happened with the Sixers now. It happened with Brooklyn.
Yeah.
And one thing that I've noticed about James Harden in my book is he's a new age Melo, right? He's a player that's ball dependent, and you don't win in the NBA when you got a guy that the ball needs to be 99% of on his hand. Doesn't make other players better like Melo.
Nope.
And I think at this point of his career where he's lost a step or two, it is very obvious. The LA Clippers are my loser of the week since acquiring my man James Harden. And I don't know who in the hell thought that was a great idea to trade and put James Harden in that team with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. Okay.
That's because they're all buddies, man. They're all buddies. And
Exactly.
Somebody talked them into it. They did somebody a favor. That's all that is. This dude's a shithead, man. He's been like this everywhere he's ever been. It's always been a problem, and it's always somebody else's fault. There's no accountability with this guy. He doesn't get out there. He doesn't do the things you have to do to win an NBA championship. And I hope he never gets one because he doesn't fucking deserve it. And I'll say that just because of the problems he causes throughout every franchise he's been a part of, he's been a poison, man. And eventually you got to take a look in the mirror and say, hey, maybe this is a me problem.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Since he's joined the Clippers, if you see the stats, right? He's averaged 13.5 points per game, 5 rebounds, 4 assists. I'm not even looking at the shooting percentage because I couldn't fit it in this slide here.
Yeah.
But the Clippers are 0-5. Not surprised. And if you tell me that they were going to go on, they were going to go winless at that time, I probably would have taken that bet and put $100 on it, and probably would have paid 10 to 1. All right.
Yeah.
And the biggest to me winner is definitely the 76ers because they get to play with a little less poison in the locker room. Love Maxey. Maxey's a kid that he is. I mean, he was great last year. He's been, up on the up and coming, and now the kid is going to shine. 50-point game not too long ago. Had 20. He's averaging 27. A better compliment for Joel Embiid than James Harden could ever be.
Absolutely. Tyrese Maxey's now an NBA All-Star, man.
Absolutely. Hey, I think he was an All-Star. He should have been an All-Star last year.
I think so too. I think he was just overshadowed, and James Harden took a lot of opportunities away from him to score the basketball. And now it's his team, man. And he's going to be able to run with it. And I think this guy's going to come to his prime. And I think, he's a future star in the league, man. He's already there. He's getting to where he's slowly coming up. But I think this guy's a future superstar in the league.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And I think it's a better fit. I think that what the 76ers need to do, because, that East is so bomb. They're so crazy, bro, with, between the Bucks and the Celtics, right? You got everybody else. And I think they're the third best team, in my book. So they just need to acquire something in the trade line to kind of help them out to be a little bit better. Because, again, they have a talented team. And I see the difference in that lineup, and I see the way they play. They play a lot looser, and I think they're just actually having fun for once in about a year or two since James.
You see James Harden's attitude and stuff around. I'm sure that's not fun for the locker room, man. There's no way that can be good for a locker room. And so when you take a guy like that, it's a shame to say because James Harden is probably one of the most talented NBA players ever.
One of the most prolific scorers, I think.
And I'm just saying, this guy right here, it's a shame that when you leave a team, they get better. Because with your talent, there's no reason you should leave any team and they get better. But they do, man, because you're poison.
OKC got better, all right, when he left. Freaking the Houston Rockets, because they traded him, they got all these picks. They're finally getting better this year. You know what I mean? So you can see that.
Better into the deal.
Brooklyn made the playoffs, all right? Last year after they traded KD, they traded him earlier than this. I mean, again, every team that James Harden leaves is better. And this is the sad part to kind of close this particular segment. He is one of those guys that absolutely will not take a back seat and become a role player. Because what it needs to do is you need to be the guy that comes with that second unit off the bench and be that spark to get to 12 and 13 points because you need that offense, right? Where you're giving a break to your top guys, to your superstars.
Yeah.
That's out of him. And I don't know why he's even starting, all right, in this lineup. It's so dysfunctional. What a shit show.
Yeah, he's not wired like that, man. He can't take a back seat to anybody, bro.
That's unfortunate. And that's what happened to Melo. That's why Melo never won a championship. And neither would James Harden.
And James Harden will never win a ring either. Never. You can't win a ring with that mentality. Eventually there comes a time where you're kind of on the backslide of your career and you got to take a step back and decide, hey, what's more important to me, my stats or my ring? And you got the stats, man. You got those. But everybody thinks you're a shithead. And the last thing you need to maybe kind of help your legacy out a little bit, try to get that ring. And you're never going to do it because your attitude's shit.
Brother, he got the stats, he got the money, and he keeps looking for the money. And that's the reason why.
How much? Enough.
Yep. He is in the situation that he's in.
Yep.
So. Brother, that's all we got this week, my man. Yeah, and then we threw a little variety in there, man. It's we came back strong. We're jumping on to week 11.
Yes, sir.
And it's what do we have? 8 more games left in the regular season, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, we're
Man,
we're
we're getting down to crunch
over
time, man.
midpoint.
Time to separate the contenders from the pretenders, man. It's that time.
Absolutely. And we're definitely going to be touching a lot of those probably next week and the upcoming weeks. We're going to have a segment, what I like to call pretenders and contenders, because now is when you separate the men from the boys, like you just said, my friend. So
That's right. That's right.
before we head out, please hit the subscribe button, like this video, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss us every Tuesdays, man. You know, we come back week after week and give you the best takes and top storylines from the NFL. And of course, as the season proceeds and we need to mix it up a little bit, we'll be adding more NBA, more baseball, but we're still gonna bread and butter, still gonna be the NFL until the season's over. Again, thank you, Cricket, for coming along, brother. Tell them exactly where they could find you, brother, and what do you represent. And what again, follow this man on Twitter, bro. One of the best guys in the biz when it comes to sports betting.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah, for the best value in sports handicapping, man. Come check us out over at sportspicks.locals.com. We have the great Robert Barnes making the official picks. He has a 5% play out this week. He is 7-0 on his big 5% plays this year. So come over there, subscribe, man. Check us out. Got a good community you interact with. Put your own picks and posts. We'll interact back with you. A lot of content, all different stuff. You got tennis, you got hockey, you got all different kind of stuff over there. Come check us out, man. sportspicks.locals.com, where we turn the odds in your favor.
Absolutely, man. Do not miss out. Don't forget to definitely check sportspickslocal.com. All right, that's all we got this week. This is your boy E-Man from the Average Joe Sports Talk Podcast, signing out with my man.
See you next Tuesday.
You got it, brother. Right on cue. Peace.
Yo!